You do everything right. You cook, you clean, you manage the schedule, and your physical intimacy is perfectly in sync. Yet when it comes to actually securing a man's long-term commitment, you still hit a wall. Over the next 5 minutes, we are going to break down a strict 3-step framework for securing that commitment. We will also run through a concrete communication audit to help you eliminate the single habit that drives men away. Step 1 requires radical accountability. Just like it is a man's job to be attractive enough to secure a date, securing a commitment is entirely within your control. There is a vital prerequisite to making this work. This system is designed for retaining capable partners, not for treating broken men as projects. If you have a love savior complex, choosing messed up men and hoping to heal them through the power of your love, this framework won't help you. You can only gain absolute relationship security once you abandon the delusion of fixing unfixable men and instead turn the focus onto auditing your own behavior. The baseline of this system rests on 2 pillars. Pillar 1 is usefulness. By integrating yourself seamlessly into the day-to-day operations of a man's life, you create a dynamic where it's incredibly difficult to replace you. That is de facto commitment. Pillar 2 is unmatched intimacy. When you proactively satisfy his libido without inhibition, doing things with him you haven't done with others, you create de facto exclusivity. Many women execute these first 2 pillars flawlessly. They handle the logistics, the intimacy is great, and yet they still find themselves unchosen and single. If that is your situation, you likely violated the hidden failure point of this system, the Unbreakable Rule. This rule is an absolute trump card. Violating it instantly neutralizes every ounce of usefulness and intimacy you have built in the relationship. The Unbreakable Rule is straightforward. It is the total, unconditional elimination of disrespect from all communication with your partner. Men possess both an angelic and an animal nature. When you attack a man's pride, you awaken the animal, and it will strike defensively at that perceived threat. Constant verbal criticisms, nagging, and berating immediately arouse this defensive state. Once the animal is triggered, any chance of a logical resolution is gone. Let's look at the subtle triggers on this layout. Disrespect often bypasses polite words entirely. A sarcastic tone, a heavy, impatient sigh, or pure passive aggression communicate exactly the same hostility as an outright insult. Poking a man's pride triggers a defensive exit. Your polite intentions matter far less than how that disrespect is perceived by him. Adhering to the Unbreakable Rule does not mean you are forbidden from disagreeing, differing, or correcting your partner's mistakes. You can navigate those disagreements by applying the superior officer standard. This is the ultimate metric for engaging in healthy, constructive conflict. The rule is a simple mental test. If a specific tone, phrase, or gesture is something you would never use with a military commanding officer, you cannot use it with your partner. Let's look at this diagram. On the left, a standard critical statement about a budget error. Phrasing it as a personal failure guarantees a defensive reaction. On the right, we pivot to the superior officer standard. You address the same issue collaboratively and respectfully. Men prioritize their peace of mind over winning an argument. Respectful disagreement is the only way to resolve issues without driving him away. This rule also extends beyond your direct communication with him. You must completely stop complaining about your partner to your friends, family, and coworkers. Trashing him externally makes you look foolish for choosing to be with him in the first place. Worse, it inevitably destroys trust when those comments get back to him. To enforce this boundary, use a simple mental hack. Always speak to third parties exactly as if your partner is standing right next to you. Here is your daily respect checklist. It covers 4 steps: removing nonverbal triggers, passing the officer test, speaking positively to others, and addressing mistakes respectfully. Take a screenshot of this list right now. Keep it accessible and run through these 4 items mentally whenever you feel the emotional urge to lash out. Consistent daily auditing takes the abstract concept of respect and turns it into a highly executable, relationship-saving protocol. The full strategy relies on 3 pillars: becoming operationally useful, maintaining uninhibited intimacy, and removing every trace of disrespect. When a man no longer has to choose between his relationship and his peace of mind, the incentive to leave disappears. You become the one person in his life who provides high value without the cost of defensive conflict. Comment below with the specific communication habit you are committing to remove today. Securing a commitment is the result of radical accountability and a disciplined standard for how you communicate. If this audit helped you, please like, subscribe, and share.